My boy hit my nose! Save us! Bad Megatron! Boy Devastator! Me, Grimlock, love challenge! Me, Grimlock, no like you!
Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Ginger Toy Mentor. Today we're going to be looking at the Studio Series Grimlock and Autobot Wheelie. Now I've been told that the Autobot Wheelie is not exactly the greatest, but I'm kind of excited to have such a large Grimlock figure. So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to have a peek inside. It's actually been quite some time since I purchased this, and I don't know why I was always putting this one off, but maybe it's just because I'm intimidated by the massive girth of Grimlock. Let's go ahead and open them up and let's see what's inside. So right off the bat, we definitely have a very well put together, multiple strapped in Grimlock. And it looks like the insert comes out as well. And inside we have his user manual and I don't know what the hell this is, like copyright information. I mean, this is kind of interesting, but I'm not really sure how you would actually really get good use out of it. Let's free him from his bonds, shall we? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we also have a big one that's going over his chest, which also has this plastic protector piece, I guess, to keep his chest in good order. I'm not really quite sure what that's for. Does he have something on his chest which would be considered fragile? I mean, it doesn't seem like anything pops off here. I guess maybe that could be considered a fragile piece, this black sort of plastic piece here. I'm not really sure if you could see through, but there is an Autobot logo on the other side. So he just comes right out. Pretty nice. There is a strap holding down his gun. And there is a strap holding down Wheelie. I can see what they mean about Wheelie. His legs are permanently in a bent position because I guess he's supposed to sit on Grimlock's shoulder. And maybe something like this, or not really quite sure how they intend him to sit up there. Yeah, okay, so like his legs are spread out wide like he's a frickin', I don't even understand. And then he has a little peg sort of goes in the hole there. Well, his legs are just splayed out for all the world to see. He also has his gun, which I'm assuming, of course, fits into his hand. And does he have a? He does have a joint in his arm, so he can turn that. I mean, his robot mode is interesting. I'm not going to say that his appearance is a 100% accurate, but kind of just like going over his robot mode. I mean, he seems like a lot of empty space. Like, I know that seems kind of like a weird criticism, but he doesn't seem as heavy as he would be like with this large. I feel like he's almost the same weight overall as like the smaller version, if that makes sense. Transforming him should be interesting. I'm wondering if it's the same transformation as his other modes. If it is the same transformation, it should be rather simple. I've always loved his mouth. I have heard some criticism that he doesn't have the piece inside of his mouth to make it look more realistic. I've seen a couple people 3D print that, or order a 3D printed version off the internet. Overall, his head looks pretty nice. I do like the detail. His blue eyes, it looks very similar to the original. Wheelie, not so much. He's just kind of, yeah. He's a little cheap. I mean, his knee joints don't move. His elbow joints don't move. His head barely moves, like forward and backward a little bit. And if you really try, you can kind of turn it side to side a little bit. But overall, he doesn't really seem like that great of a wheelie. All his joints are like really stiff too. Like the joints that he does have are extremely stiff. He does have the little like Energon slingshot in his hand, which is kind of cool. Let's make sure that Mr. Grimlock here is fully transformed, and then we'll get a nice fashion shot of him. We'll take a look in the manual just to make sure there's nothing missing. One thing I have noticed in my time opening these up is that even if they are in robot mode or car mode, a lot of the times they are improperly transformed into those modes. Things are missing, you know, guns not in their hand, you know, like little tidbits here and there are not like transformed correctly. But from what I'm seeing here, it does look like he is in his correct mode. So let's go ahead and get a fashion photo shot of our boy Grimlock here, the creator of Computron and the king of the Dinobots. And then after we get a fashion photo shot of him in his robot mode, we're going to get him transformed into his Dino mode and have some fun looking at that.
See those big bozos?
Me Grimlock no bozo, me king! Me Grimlock say execute them! Me Grimlock say we on our way! Out wipers want to hear good part of story!
Good part!
Alright, so let's transform him into his alternate mode, which is, of course, is the T-Rex. And let's remove Wheelie from the top here, which is wedged in with a pin. So you kind of have to rotate him off. And then, obviously, we're going to take the gun out of his hand. And a lot of this is pretty straightforward when it comes to Grimlock. His hands fold in, both of his hands. These become actually his feet. His entire midsection actually folds down to allow his hands to become his feet. His feet himself actually become a different part of the robot, which is his tail. So you have a mechanism here which allows the tail to form downward. And seems pretty similar to the regular transformation, although not exact. And then generally his whole head portion comes up. His real head folds down, which aids in the transformation. His two wings in the back will actually come forward and form around his head like a rib cage to create that effect. And then his back legs actually kind of become the tail, which is interesting. Trying to figure out what the hell's going on here with these feet. I think they need to, the whole thing needs to like fold inward like this. That's what it seems like. Yep, whole thing folds in like this. Let's see what I'm missing here. think the only thing that I'm missing here is, I'm pretty sure you got to spin the legs around. I remember that from the original transformation. So let's go ahead and pull this head back up, and I think we need to spin, yeah, the entire leg assembly around. That's what's going on. Then we do our little magic tricks here with the legs. This is an interesting transformation for sure. I have a little bit of trouble figuring out exactly how things are supposed to fit together. It is a little bit different than the original one. It's always fun to figure these things out. Like, I know you guys sometimes, maybe you're watching me on camera and you're like, man, he has no clue how to transform this guy. But that's the fun. That's literally the fun of it. Like, it's literally the figuring out, which is why most of the time you will not see me look at the instructions, because I don't want to spoil it for myself. I want to figure it out on my own. Okay, so I think we got that one, and I'm pretty sure it's just this one now. Put that like that. There we go, and lock the tail pieces together. Let's do little nodules there. Lock the tail together. The whole tail assembly needs to be locked together. So what's going on with this one tail piece? It's not quite locked in. There we go. Nice and locked. Locked. Like that. Like that. That. I think we've got it. Meet Grimlock. Meet Grimlock on Smash. Meet Grimlock Smash. Meet Grimlock no like technology. Meet Grimlock like fish. Meet Grimlock go fishing. Yes, I am 5. Shut up. And then apparently Wheelie goes on his neck, somewhere around here. I really don't know where. I guess when Grimlock is a little bit more like positioned in his sort of like running mode, you know, kind of like balanced out. I'm trying to see how I can get him to stand properly. There you go. And then I think Wheelie is supposed to like sit on his neck, or at least that's how it appears on the box. Like, let's do a double check here. A little bit further back, like right here. It just doesn't. Okay, I think I see. There's 2 notches on the left and the right of his neck, and Wheelie has 2 notches on his feet that sort of like match up with the notches on Wheelie's feet. I'm not sure if you can see them, but like right here on the inside is a notch, and then on the other side in the exact same spot is also a notch. And so Wheelie kind of just like locks in there. Like he's on there pretty good. Like, I can turn him over and shake him, and Wheelie's not going anywhere. These two notches and the way that he spreads his legs combined, like, he's not moving, which is pretty cool. Grimlock does seem to stand okay, but he does seem to have a little bit of balance issues. Like, you got to make sure that his feet are locked in the exact same spot. It looks like there is a place for his gun as well, according to the manual. It looks like his gun sits... kind of showed it kind of like sitting sideways in here. It doesn't really seem like that's the correct answer. Ah, I see it. There's two notches right here and right here behind Wheelie, and the gun fits into the notches. I always love it when the accessories have a place to go on the robot. Like, I don't like it when there's nowhere for the accessories to sit. Although I am having issues getting it to actually fit in the notches. It's very tight. Alright, well, there we go. Well, that ain't coming out. The notches are extremely tight. I think the only quibble I have about it is that the gun, like what the gun is actually mounting to, is a movable object, so it's a little weird. But other than that, it's definitely in there pretty good. I'm also noticing that there's little holes all over Grimlock, like little tiny spots where it looks like Wheelie can latch on. So Wheelie has this little tiny hole like on one of his legs. It's like on his left thigh, and it looks like it corresponds with the hole right here on top of his foot. You could put him on either one of these feet. There's also little holes like all over the place that look like they correspond with Wheelie. So you could technically have Wheelie like kind of just maneuvered into place all over Grimlock. Although it does seem like he's specifically engineered to be in that one spot, which is either right here on his neck or in the robot form, also on his shoulder. His feet have multiple joints, which is pretty cool. Let me see if I can demonstrate this. So not only do his feet turn like this all the way around in a circle, they also have a elbow joint, so the whole entire thing can fold like that. And of course they also rotate at the shoulder joint, so to speak, which is pretty cool. I mean, overall, I like him. He doesn't feel like overly cheap. He does feel a little bit light, but I mean, if you really wanted to, you could open him up and put some like little tiny weights in him or something. It definitely does seem like he's got a lot of hollow space on the on like the inside of some of his joints and things like that. He does have a little gun cannon inside of his mouth, which it's kind of hard to actually see it. But I'm assuming that's like his flamethrower or something. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it. Kind of like in the light. You see it's like literally right there in the center. It's like this little gun that's pointed out. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool little feature, like something that you wouldn't even normally see when his mouth is closed. But I'm assuming it's because he's got the flamethrower. He is missing the teeth in the front, which I think is something else people have 3D printed, was literally like additional teeth in the front. I don't know why he doesn't have front teeth. It's a very odd choice for a robot that is very obviously teeth orientated, as you can see from the side. But then when you look at it from the front, there's just no teeth in the front. It's just an empty, toothless void. Now, when his mouth is open, it doesn't look so like ridiculous, although you can still obviously tell that there's no teeth up here at the top. I don't know what they were thinking about that. That's a little weird for there not to be teeth at the front of his mouth. Maybe he never had teeth at the front of his mouth in the show either, and I just never noticed. But I'll have to go back and take a look at the pictures. Let's get a fashion photo shot of him in his dino mode, and then that'll be it. And as always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.
Stop these disasters! Me, Grimlock, not care. Whole planet fall apart. Make no difference to me, Grimlock. With you on it? Hadn't thought of that.
Good nice dino, good dino, sweet dino.
Me, Grimlock, not nice dino. Me, best brains! Me, Grimlock, say execute them!